everybody, it's Maddie J, the acting coach, and I am back at you this week with another video. So this week we're going to talk about a very intense scene. So make sure that you strap on your seatbelts because I think that this is going to be pretty crazy. We're going to dive into the golden scene in Marriage Story. Now, if any of you guys have heard of this, the film, you know that it's a very intense story. This scene in particular is where Nicole and Charlie kind of pour out their feelings for each other, and we really learn as an audience how they truly feel about each other, and this is why it's so intense. Honestly, when I watch it, it gives me chills. So I'm super excited to dive into it today. I think this is a really fun scene to, I think this is a really fun film to jump into because the two main characters in the film are two creatives that are really, aiming to get success. And if any of you have ever been a creative before, you know how stressful it can be while you're on the pathway to success. Granted, the end results are absolutely amazing, but nobody likes to talk about the groveling and grueling times of where you feel like you have nothing left, your back is up against the wall, and you're struggling all the time. So I wanted to dive into this to talk about rage. Where does it come from? How do you ignite it? I think it kind of makes you think about when we talk about intensity, it makes me think about, like, you think about Kevin Spacey, in House of Cards, and you may think of somebody, one of your friends who's mad. It's one thing if one of your friends who's mad is trying to act like he's really mad at you, and he's like, "What are you doing?" People do that all the time, right? But it's another thing, looking at it in terms of an actor like Kevin Spacey, it's also intense to say, "What are you doing?" You feel it, like, so so I think, where does rage can come from? So many different places. And I think that when you talk, I think when it comes to relationships, it's always super interesting because I think the average human has probably been in a relationship, and if you haven't, you've had a relationship with your parents, cousins, friends, somebody, unless you are a sole human living under a rock, and then I kind of feel very bad for you. So I think one way to ignite rage is by substitution. And I think that a way, and I don't know what these actors did to ignite their rage, but one thing that I like to think that sometimes actors do is to use the substitution method of, replacing their acting partner with their actual wife or their first girlfriend that was super toxic, or vice versa, in order to activate feelings like this to come across as very realistic, kind of relative to Meisner techniques. So without further ado, let us hop into the scene.
People used to tell me that you were too selfish to be a great artist, and I used to defend you. You were absolutely right.
All your best acting is behind you. You're back to being a hack.
You gaslighted me. Fucking villain.
You want to present yourself as a victim because it's a good legal strategy? Fine. But you and I both know you chose this life.
Whew. Okay. So you feel that? I know I'm not the only person feeling that. I think that both of them are so, I think it's, as actors, I think it's always super funny just to see actors portray actors on television and movies, because 9 times out of 10 they have probably experienced some crazy emotions. And in this scene, clearly Charlie and Nicole are going back and forth, kind of trying to make the other person feel bad because of probably something that they're dealing with themselves, and they're substituting their passion for what they want in this film, and they're using it to justify their rage with the other person. You know what it feels like when you tell somebody, "Yeah, I'm aspiring to be a painter," and someone says, "Painter? Why do you want to be a painter? Painters don't do, like, it's capitalist America." And people just talk, down on your dreams. It makes you feel a certain way. You get upset, you get filled with rage. Whether you yell or keep it to yourself, you feel some type of way. So I think this is a great example of how people express their personal emotions in their work.
You wanted it until you didn't. You used me so you could get out of LA.
I didn't use you.
You did, and then you blamed me for it. Always made me aware of what I was doing wrong, how I was falling short. Life with you was joyless.
So then you had to go and fuck someone else.
You shouldn't be upset that I fucked her. You should be upset that I had a laugh with her.
That line you should be upset that I had a laugh with her. I think that you can break that down from like a writing point of view. That was an incredible line. So there's another layer of substitution, right? I think there's a substitution of fighting someone and defending what your dreams are, and then a substitution of from the relationship arena and saying, you know, I'm sure maybe this woman is pulling from a time where she got cheated on. Who knows? But I think that because that pain is so strong, you're able to translate that into a substitution and deliver that with somebody else.
Do you love her?
No, she didn't hate me. You hated me.
You hated me. You fucked somebody we worked with.
You stopped having sex with me in the last year. I never cheated on you.
That was cheating on me.
But there's...
So that's another substitution as well. I think that if you're a girl, you've ever had a girlfriend, I think that you know the dynamic between guys and girls. Guys think that talking or flirting may not be cheating. Girls are like, that's exactly what my definition of cheating is. Perhaps that this is another substitution as well. I think that it's such a powerful place to insert that.
So much I could have done. I was a director in my 20s who came from nothing and was suddenly on the cover of fucking Time Out New York. It was hot shit and I wanted to fuck everybody, and I did. And I loved you and I didn't want to lose you. But I'm in my 20s and I didn't want to lose that too, and I kind of did. And you wanted so much, so fast. I didn't even want to get married. Fuck it. There's so much I didn't do.
So, you all know what I'm about to say. That was an excellent, I mean, literally, you know, we talk about inner monologues, but that was literally a monologue. And I think that shows so many different layers of who, you know, the characters. It makes you think like, wow, what have you been through? You came from nothing. What was that nothing? When you were in your 20s, you were on top of the world. Like, what kind of thoughts were you thinking? You know, how much money did you have? What kind of offers were put in front of your face? It makes you super curious to know more about their character. Obviously, this is where it's also important that you answer those questions as an actor, so you can, I mean, I think it's super easy when you're explaining to someone, you know, say for example, you went to a community college instead of a regular college, and you know how much you had to sacrifice to, you know, take 2 years off of going to college instead of going the whole 4 years. I sacrificed 2 years of community college in order to save money for my family. Like, there's a story behind that. There's emotions behind that. So when you say stuff like this, that's where those emotions are coming from.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
I can't believe I have to know you forever.
You're fucking insane. And you're fucking winning!
Are you kidding me? I want you to be married. I'd already lost. You didn't love me as much as I loved you.
So I think another part of being an actor is being human, right? And I think even though I identify as female, I think I have run into a lot of situations where men try to say that women, you know, we overthink, we don't realize good situations. And obviously this is an assumption. I'm not supporting that thought process at all. Simply, you know, art simply reflects reality, and the reality of the gender differences and similarities between men and women have been that at one point. So in this moment, it's possible for you to pull from a place where, or as a guy who has dealt with women like that, to say you have been winning and you don't even realize it, because maybe he has dealt with a woman who is like this.
What does that have to do with LA? What?
You're so merged with your own selfishness, you don't even identify it as selfishness anymore. You're such a dick.
Every day I wake up and I hope you're dead.
So, obviously that was a trigger. Another layer of what, another layer of what you can add to your character. For example, you know, Nicole spoke her mind. She clearly is in love, but the person who she's in love with isn't treating her how she thought she was going to be treated. And when she called Charlie a dick, it was triggering. So it makes me wonder, why is that triggering to Charlie? I'm sure he put something there. Maybe his dad grew up calling him a dick every single moment that he fucked up. So when somebody calls you a dick, trigger. And that's what makes acting real, and that's what's making this scene so good.
Did like it if I can guarantee Henry would be okay. I hope you get an illness and then get hit by a car and die.
And even then, I mean, obviously the script says through tears, but you have to pull from a place that's so vulnerable and open, that's located in your heart, to say something like that.
I'm sorry.
Me too.
So, how do you feel? Crazy. So, you know, I think, so to sum it all up, I think that substitution is an awesome technique as an actor to pull from really real experiences. And just for the sake of this video, imagining that these two actors used that, I think that there's so many real moments in our real life that we can pull from to show up as a real character in a scene like this. Let me know what you guys think about substitution and rage in general in the comments, and we'll focus on something else cool in the next video. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and until I see you next time.